world of professional wrestling. A lot went on in the week that you weren't here. And it's kind of one of those things where I know that when I'm off a show for a week and big things happen, it's like, damn it, I wish I was there. Biggest thing that happened last week was the reunion of the Balor Club in the WWE. It's not a one-off. They are back together. We're going to be talking about a lot of wrestling tonight. Kevin is back. I am Joe. We are here calling it in the ring as we do every Tuesday.
I'm so sorry. I was so sick.
And he's coughing all over the place.
But it's not. This is end of the cold coughing. This is getting rid of it. Luckily, I'm drinking Coke, which is really good for that.
Yeah. Apparently, I am so happy that you have joined us tonight, everybody in the chat room. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for your support. We really appreciate it. Also, one thing I also like to say, a few little plugs, if we may. Number one, we have the THS Hashtaggers group. It is active. Go there. It's on Facebook. Everybody's posting in there the latest geek news, whether you're a Power Ranger fan, a Doctor Who fan, a wrestling fan, a superhero fan. Go and check it out. That is THS Hashtaggers. That is probably in the description below. Also, we have the TeePublic store. What that is, you get your cool geek shirts like this in our TeePublic store. That is TeePublic, that hashtag show. That also helps support the show. And finally, we have the super chat feature. What that does, that helps. Oh, somebody owes us some beers. Somebody has to buy beers. That's the rule in the studio. If your phone is on. All right. You all right there, buddy?
Yes, I'm going to be doing that a little bit. I'm sorry.
So, look, Ryan says, welcome back, Kevin. Hope you're feeling better.
I'm feeling a lot better, thank you.
But yes, the Super Chat feature helps support the show. Hit that Super Chat feature, and that will help support the show. But let's get into it.
Let's tell you what, in the chat earlier, I asked Matt how old he was, and he's 31 and a half. And the reason I asked is because Matt mentioned that the only thing he knew about the Hardys was from their time in TNA, which blew our minds.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Because the Hardys were they were a big part of the Attitude Era, and even I think a little bit before. And it's funny because we're now in the year 2018, and there's so much big about to happen, especially with this Raw anniversary coming up in just under a couple of weeks. All the stars from the Attitude Era and all that stuff are coming in, which is about 20 years ago, which is about 1998, I think, is when that was pretty much its hottest, yeah?
97, 98, yeah.
Yeah. And it made me think, just for your and my perspective.
Yeah.
20 years ago, the biggest stars were Stone Cold. Look at that. Look at the fucking Hardy Boys. When is that, though?
That's probably like 2001, 2002 maybe.
So when I think about us right now and the fans who are watching now, because it's their thing now, and thinking how it relates to when we talk about the good old days 20 years ago.
Yeah, definitely.
Which, for us, when we were 20 years looking back on that, in 1998, 20 years ago, the champion for us at the time was Bruno Sammartino and Harley Race.
That's crazy.
No, I'm sorry, not Bruno.
I was going to say Bruno. Bruno was the champion when Triple H was like...
Superstar Billy Graham. So it's just weird. So whenever I think about the good old days,
your good old days is the Attitude Era.
Yeah, and that's kind of how we look to the young folks out there.
Yeah, I mean, I've thought about that tons of times too. Because growing up, the big guy was Hulk Hogan when I was a little kid, and then it transitioned to Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock, and now it's John Cena. You know, and obviously maybe Roman Reigns. Who knows? But like, we're getting this sense of. And I can kind of get it from the older audience. It's like, well, John Cena's no Stone Cold Steve Austin. John Cena's no Rock. But I understand it. The guy works hard, but I understand that sense of like how the older folks would be like, oh, the Harley Race or Ric Flair or whoever. Who's this? Who cares about Hulk Hogan or these guys? So, or Bruno Sammartino's another great example. Another guy. But it is pretty crazy to think about that, and just also. Kind of crazy to know that, like, depending on what part of the country you're from is kind of what you kind of grew up with. I guess that's not so relevant anymore as much as it was for people that are a little older, or maybe even people that are our age, because you're from the Midwest, and I don't know if you had AWA or if you're a little bit.
Oh yeah, we're in Minnesota, it's the heartbeat of it.
So because AWA was a little before my time. It was a little bit before my time, so I didn't really understand AWA. NWA wasn't really even a thing either when I was growing up. It was more WCW or WWE, and I knew that WCW was always big in the South. WWE was always big in the East and in the West Coast, which I was a part of. So LA WWE town. I felt like so.
Yeah.
Now I do want to.
Craig points out it's weird how Monday Night Raw and the Power Rangers have their 25th anniversary the same year.
This is true. Power Rangers also is a 25th anniversary, celebrating it this year. The cool thing about January, though, this year especially, is that you got the 25th anniversary of Raw, and that goes right into the Royal Rumble.
Yep.
And I probably haven't been this excited about a Royal Rumble in quite a while. Mainly it's because in other Rumbles, it's very easy to predict who's going to win. You know that Roman Reigns was going to win. I mean, one of them came out of nowhere was Randy Orton. I think that was last year. Out of the blue. But for the most part, I mean, you can kind of predict where you think things are going. This Royal Rumble, it can go in so many different directions because there's so much great talent in it. But I know that a guy like, Sami Zayn probably won't win. But I'm excited to see him in it. But I think it's going to be Shinsuke. A lot of people think it could be Roman.
I'm feeling Shinsuke as well.
I hope so. But let's talk about, speaking of Shinsuke Nakamura, he was a huge star in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Talk about we could talk about the Balor Club. The Balor Club is back in the WWE. And would you say this? First of all, I want to talk about Raw. I loved this episode of Raw this last Monday. So big fan of it. They really highlighted a lot of characters, which I think they should be highlighting right now. I even enjoyed the whole Braun Strowman tearing down such a gimmicky thing. I love that.
It was so silly.
But the women's matches were great. Everything was hitting on all cylinders to me. Now with the Balor Club, do you think that they're heels?
I don't. I don't think they're heels, but it is funny because they were having a lot of fun with the dissension between the three of those, the two good guys and Jason Jordan. It was funny to watch, though. It was funny to watch Finn smile.
So much.
Yeah.
Seems like he's actually having a good time. Now, do you think that we're going to be able to get the Prince Devitt Finn Balor, like the way he was in New Japan?
I don't know. I'm not too familiar with the Prince Devitt.
He was the Kenny Omega of his time.
I'd love it if whatever gets them the most heat, whichever gets them most, they can go over big as good guys or bad guys. But Finn was really setting him up to call Gallows and Anderson to call Jason Jordan a nerd, which is really funny for a good guy to do. But considering who they were talking to, I think that's all right.
Now with the Balor Club seemingly in full effect. And another thing, too, they did a backstage little promo, and they had mentioned some of the past members of the Bullet Club. Now, a thing that we talked about last week on this show was, do you think we can get any surprise appearances from Bullet Club members in this year's Royal Rumble?
Well, let's be honest here. Bullet Club is a little bit like the NWO, where there are tiers.
Yeah.
Bad Luck Fale, I don't know much about him.
Fair enough. But you're only a WWE guy primarily.
Sure.
NXT also.
But am I wrong to not know too much about Fale?
Do you know Kenny Omega?
Of course.
Okay. Well, that's good. Do you know the Young Bucks?
Please.
All right. So, those guys. Do you think we could possibly... We had Jericho go
we're not getting Omega. We're not getting the Young Bucks.
What about the Tonga Kid? The Tonga Kid would be great.
What's his name right now? It's not Tonga Kid, is it?
No, it's something else now, but it's the Tonga Kid. That's who he is.
But that's why I mentioned the tiers, because it wouldn't be super exciting.
I think the hardcore fans would know. But if we did get Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, woo-wee.
But the Young Bucks are sealed up until the end of the year, right?
Yeah, I don't know when Kenny Omega's up either. But if we can get them to, because there was just a tweet by the New Japan, the guy that's running New Japan right now, he said he would love to work with the WWE.
Of course he would. WWE is the biggest company in the world.
But globally, New Japan is rapidly moving to
They're doing better. They're not WWE level.
Listen, if you can lure somebody like Chris Jericho to get them, and I think New Japan has this kind of mystique about it that it's because it is better than NXT. And it has this mystique about it of listen, this is why it's brought up so much of when CM Punk were to come back, it's like, well, he'd come back in New Japan. If Daniel Bryan were to come back, well, he'd probably come back in New Japan. And New Japan is seeming to have more solidified hold, especially in the England area, obviously in Japan, and possibly even making a run here in the United States. We had our first New Japan event out here in California last year, and then they're returning again. So I can't wait for that to be a thing. I do think that, I don't know if they'll ever threaten WWE, but I definitely think that it would be in WWE's best interest to work with New Japan.
I think it would be an interesting venue to take. I don't think WWE needs them.
No, but I think that the hot young stars are not coming from NXT. They're coming from New Japan Pro Wrestling. Do you agree or disagree?
I don't know enough about them. Who's the big, Okada.
Naito?
Okay, ADA, let's say it real loud.
Naito?
Who's the guy who does the thing with his eye?
Naito.
I hate that.
Oh, he's great. He's their version of Shawn. He's like Shawn Michaels was back then. He like throws the belt. He disrespects everything. He's like Los Ingobernables, like DX.
Tell you, why don't we talk about this Wrestle Kingdom here?
We can talk about Wrestle Kingdom. Did you watch the whole event?
No.
What you only saw Jericho and Omega?
and I saw some of the main event.
Okay.
I got kind of bored.
Oh, you're crazy.
Omega and Jericho was good.
So that's interesting you say that, because that match wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. And that shows the difference in styles of which we like. You like the WWE style. You like the storytelling, the slower paced style. I like the more hard-hitting, strong style.
I like all of that in different times.
That's not even a real answer.
Of course it's a real answer.
Absolutely
I can
not.
like more than one thing. I can like pizza and tacos.
You can, but it seems like you're more preferenced and your eyes more trained to enjoy one over the other.
I love a good hard-hitting match.
What do you consider a good hard-hitting match in the WWE? They don't exist, really.
Okay, all right.
I mean, if you can name one, I don't know. I mean, maybe.
I'm not even limiting it to WWE. I mean, maybe NXT. How about Pete Dunne and what was that European? Not European. The European Championship. Not the European. What the hell is it? The English Championship.
I know what you're talking about. The UK title.
Yes, and the match they had at Takeover last year was a very hard-hitting match, and it was fucking awesome.
Which was also like two New Japan guys. Like, go figure, right?
Are they really New Japan guys?
I think so. At the very least, they're Pro Wrestling Revolution guys, which is like an affiliate, I believe, of New Japan. But if you look at all the guys that are pretty much on top of WWE right now, they made their impact, well, mostly either in Ring of Honor or New Japan Pro Wrestling, which is, again, associated with Ring of Honor. I mean, they're both together. I don't think that, like... I don't know. Say, what's a great WWE match? Because if anybody's here going to tell me that Finn Balor against AJ Styles blew you away, you're crazy. It wasn't nearly as good as it could have been in New Japan.
I wasn't going to say that. I thought it was a good fun match. I don't think it was. Yeah, it didn't blow me away. I guess we could have gone in with matches of the year. That would have been a good idea, but we didn't.
Matches. What was the match of the year for you in 2018? 2017?
I'm still going to go to that UK title match.
See, for me, it's definitely Kenny Omega and Okada.
Okay.
Which was Dave Meltzer's first 6-star match, I believe.
Thanks, Primetime. Wasn't it 7?
7-star match? Was it 7?
Well, he did a 6 and then a 7.
Really?
Because he did a 6 and he was like, and then the other match happened. He was like, it was better than the 6. I don't know what to say. I'll give it a 7.
I don't know. I think that I love New Japan. I love their style, and I also like the fact that you don't have to have all this BS this BS element of like, oh, I need these backstage promos. Oh, I have to attack. Like you have all this soap opera thing. I like that it's more based in a competition style, but it's very entertaining. And I do like the fact that and that just proves that see, for me when I watch WWE, especially Raw or SmackDown, sometimes I find myself fast-forwarding through the matches because they're just not that entertaining to me. Even on pay-per-view, sometimes I'll fast-forward through them just to see who won. It just doesn't capture me the same way New Japan does.
I mean, it's very interesting for you to say that because you're saying the matches aren't any good and you're not watching.
No. Certain matches. Like, I know certain matches just aren't going to match. All right, are you really that intrigued with, like, Rusev against Randy Orton?
No, Randy Orton in general bores me.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you know that there's certain guys, but Randy Orton's a top guy here.
Right.
I don't feel like you get that necessarily in New Japan. If they're a top guy, you're probably going to want to watch the match because they're probably good matches. Like, I'm not, again, Roman Reigns is another guy.
I have never said you got to see this Roman Reigns match ever.
That's my point. It's kind of my point. But I definitely think that with New Japan, they're doing stuff over there that it's very creative right now.
What was your take on the main event, Naito and Okada?
I thought that those two guys did great. I thought that I loved, spoiler alert if you haven't seen Wrestle Kingdom, but with Okada retaining the title, it doesn't hurt Naito at all. And it doesn't hurt Los Ingobernables at all either. If anything, and I love the fact, too, that Naito's moving into a feud with Chris Jericho, which I think could be amazing. Because Naito is New Japan's version of the DX Shawn Michaels, but it's done more in like this kind of like, I don't really care kind of way, and I really, really enjoy that. I think that Naito may have been the at the back end of 2017, the superstar of the year. There's a few guys that could have that claim, though, because I also think The Miz would be in the conversation for that.
Now, it's crazy that you say those at the same time, because I think Miz is an amazing character. I think his matches have been fine.
He's amazing speaker. His matches aren't great.
Yeah, but you're talking about the Wrestler of the Year, and you're jerking off all the New Japan guys, and you're putting The Miz in the same context.
But the WWE for the WWE style. Listen, I'm never going to give that to Finn Balor because listen, as great as a wrestler he is, his character is boring.
Okay, because you just spent a good couple of minutes ripping me because I don't like the actual matches as much as the story themselves. And
sure.
By the way, also, The Miz is one of the best wrestlers of the year. He is story.
He's one of the best talkers of the year, and his matches are decent. He's not having bad matches.
Right.
He's doing exactly what you like, the WWE style. See, essentially, what I'm getting at from this is that you're saying that you don't like the New Japan style, but you're more...
I did not say that. Okay. I never said that. Stop saying things I didn't say.
You didn't say that exactly, but what you said is the matches that you saw at Wrestle Kingdom bored you, which was the New Japan style, essentially. It's the epitome of what the New Japan style is.
Last year's were better.
At Wrestle Kingdom?
Yeah.
What, AJ and Nakamura? Oh, no, that wasn't last year. That was like a few years ago. Who was last year's main event?
It was Okada and Kenny, wasn't it?
Was it Okada? Yeah, it was Okada and Kenny. Okada and Kenny was really good. You do get this sense of, it was better, 100%. Not saying it was bad, but I even still think at that level of what they were performing, it was still better than pretty much any WWE main event I'd seen this year.
Yeah, I can't look at the WWE and, I mean, obviously we had AJ and Cena at SummerSlam. And at the Rumble,
which wasn't, I don't even really remember that match. I think their best match was their first one at Money in the Bank, actually, or whatever pay-per-view it was.
But match-wise, nothing huge is jumping out to me other than the stuff I've already mentioned.
Because nothing huge jumps out with the WWE style, I feel like. I mean, it's not like it doesn't happen. But it's even like I feel like NXT is more impressive than WWE with their match style.
Yes.
But if we're talking about overall wrestlers and people on mics and people getting over, I think I definitely put The Miz in there. I don't really see how you couldn't. Same thing with.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I think you're a bit of a hypocrite for saying the WWE style is so not that great.
I didn't say it wasn't that great. I never said that. Now you're putting words into my mouth.
Maybe I am a little bit. That is definitely the impression I'm getting, though.
No, well, that's the same impression I'm getting of you saying that it's the same thing. We're essentially talking about the same thing. What I'm saying is the WWE style isn't as appealing as the New Japan style. However, I still respect the WWE style because it's not bad. It's just a different form of storytelling. For example, I like comic books, right? I like horror comic books. The Walking Dead is not the same as Justice League, but they're both different comic books.
Sure.
Both different, but that's like saying what's comic of the year. Well, it's very tough, and I feel like when you put it like that, you have to categorize things. So, talking about The Miz for his for the WWE for what that company is, yeah, I absolutely think he'd be wrestler, like at least one of the wrestlers of the year, because realistically, AJ Styles isn't great on the mic, but he's a great in-ring performer. Right. But he's serviceable on the mic to be in that conversation as well.
Right.
So I feel like there's different levels to this thing. You agree or disagree?
No, I agree.
Okay, so I was a big fan of Wrestle Kingdom. I think, again, like I said, I think those matches alone were better than, I would go far as say as any. Well, I mean, it's the first pay-per-view of second pay-per-view of January, first pay-per-view of January, right?
Yeah, it's the first one.
So we don't have much to compare it to this year. But as of right now, it's some of the, at least of this year, it's some of the best wrestling I've seen.
I think the UK title match I talked about was better than Omega and Jericho.
You might be right about that. I mean, Omega and Jericho was a different story altogether. I mean, I wouldn't disagree with that.
Who was better in the main event for you? Who made it a better match, Okada or Naito?
It depends. I think Okada's very, very good, and I think that the only thing is I know that same thing with, it's a great point is Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke Nakamura, when he was in New Japan, you go and watch Shinsuke Nakamura against AJ Styles in New Japan, and then I hope that they wrestle at WrestleMania against each other, because I will almost guarantee you that match that they had in New Japan will be better than what they had at WrestleMania, because the style is so different.
I mean, it'll be fascinating. I think that's one of the reasons I want to see it, is just to see what they will allow them to do.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate, though, because just what you said, what they allow them to do.
No, you're right.
And I think that's one of those things where it's like holding those two of the best artists in this profession back. To be like, well, we can't have you outshining whoever we want to get over in this match.
And that's what it is, isn't it?
For me?
Your opinion, of course.
Yes, absolutely. I think that the only people that have taken shots or taken chances like that are people that are allowed to, or people that just didn't give a shit, like Shawn Michaels. Because if you ever even hear Shawn Michaels talk about his ladder match at WrestleMania, he was yelled at by everybody because they went 10 extra minutes. To the point where they bumped off the 10-man tag match.
I remember that.
So by somebody like Shawn Michaels taking a risk, it paid off for him, obviously. But can you imagine if somebody like Finn Balor does that? He'd probably be fired.
Well, he would be in big, big trouble for going 10 extra minutes.
Right.
But it wasn't just Shawn, obviously.
It was obviously Scott. But that was when they had the Clique and they had more political power. That does not exist in WWE, at least that we know of.
Yeah.
Like the Bullet Club is not running the show like the Clique was.
No.
So, and I know that he's one of Triple H's guys, so maybe he'll have a little leeway there. But I still think it's because realistically on paper, AJ Styles and Chris Jericho should have been one of the. Then again, that could speak a lot to Chris Jericho the way he's a performer now. But it should have been on paper one of the best matches you'd ever seen. Same thing with AJ Styles and Finn Balor. Should have been one of the best matches on paper that you'd ever seen, and it wasn't. It was a WWE style match.
And they got kind of thrown that at the last minute too.
I mean, but
AJ and Finn.
True, but how much? I mean, even without the promotion, you didn't have to sell that match.
But not promotion wise, just for the guys to be like, all right, what can we do? What can we do?
It doesn't take a week.
I mean, it was just a couple of days, as I recall.
I mean, I don't know. I don't really think that.
And Finn was like traveling, right? Wasn't he across the country and they flew him in?
I think AJ was, right? Because it was AJ's pay-per-view?
Yes.
No, that's a valid point, but I feel like two guys that are that good should have just lit it up. And it was a good match. It was a good match for the standards, but I don't think it was like it didn't blow me away. It didn't blow me away the way, same thing with Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho. It didn't blow me away.
Right.
And I think that's my biggest problem. Okay, now this is actually a pretty good conversation about this. about this New Japan
so.
WWE style. All right, you want to talk about Raw? Anything that you were outstanding to you?
What did I like about Raw? I liked The Miz. I liked Jason Jordan talking about how the Champions Club was better than the best club in the world. I like Matt Hardy's rockin' piano music.
I loved Matt Hardy's new entrance music.
I loved Elias. You remember the York Foundation, right?
Yeah.
With Alexander York?
Yeah.
Dana Brooke is totally Alexander
Oh, yeah,
York.
100%. I remember, wasn't it?
It was Terry Reynolds.
No, it was not only that, but it had Richard Morton.
Richard Morton, who was one half of the Rock and Roll Express. And he had this
Was Tommy
huge...
Rich in it? Was it Tommy Rich?
Thomas Rich.
Thomas Rich?
But, oh, look at that.
Yeah, there it is, Terry
are.
Taylor.
And Bob, you can see right there, Bobby Morton, Robert Morton, didn't cut his hair.
No,
Like
he had
he's
that mullet still rocking.
Because he was like, this gimmick isn't going to last. I got to be a rock and roller as soon as this is done again.
Did you ever hear the backstory about why this happened? Or why he chose this?
No, please tell me.
So Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson were tagging as the Rock and Roll Express. Robert Gibson got injured. He injured his knee. And he was going to be out for like 9 months. And instead of sitting home and not doing anything, he was like, well, this is what they're giving me to break up the tag team. And he's like, and Robert Gibson told him, don't do it. This is a bad idea. And he did it and then quickly regretted it and was like, this is a bad idea. And then they put the team back together. But, man, to credit to those guys are like in their 60s and still out there performing.
I liked Terrence Taylor a lot.
Yeah, the Red Rooster.
I thought he looked great.
Yeah, it was
he got totally fucked with the Red Rooster. It's not fair.
I don't understand why the Red Rooster was even a thing. Like, how did that... I don't know how you go in Vince McMahon's office and he goes, I got an idea, pal.
I remember I met Terry Taylor at the first Nitro. We were walking around, my buddy and I. We were like, holy shit, dude, it's Terry Taylor. So we went up to him, and he was like an agent for WCW at the time. And we were like, hey, man, so how's it going? When are we going to see you back in the ring? And he was like, well, first I thought I was too old, and now I'm looking around, and maybe I'm too young to be in wrestling these days.
Terry Taylor, a super underrated talent. Now he's also an agent back at WWE. But that Red Rooster gimmick, man, I don't get it. He was supposed to be a human chicken? Is that pretty much what he was?
That's really interesting. I can't explain it.
I don't get it either. Anyway, back to Raw. That's what he used to do. I don't understand it. Back to Raw. We had a great showdown with Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt. First of all, I do want to talk about. I love the Woken Matt Hardy's music.
Yes,
it fits him perfectly.
It's great.
It's exactly what he needs. I actually loved the fact that the audience didn't really know what was going on, and then they like saw him come out and they popped for him.
Yeah, that was good sign.
Like I said, I would love to see the Woken Matt Hardy in the title picture at some point in 2018. Don't know if we're gonna get that though. What else did we have? Enzo Amore, defending his cruiserweight title.
Yeah, that he lost by countout.
Cedric Alexander got busted open in the match too, hard way.
Yeah.
And I will say this about Enzo, is that he was pretty convincing. Selling that injury.
He looked very hurt.
Good job. Good on you, Enzo Amore. I know that you might not be liked by the WWE talent roster, but you're okay in my book.
Was Brother Love announced as returning to Raw?
No, is he returning for the 25th anniversary?
Thomas Franco says. I know we saw Slaughter, but Brother Love, they said Brother Love's coming back.
Hey, what about this? Challenge? This.
What is this? What is this on Facebook Watch?
I don't know. I was asking. I was hoping you would tell me.
I feel it's just on Facebook. It's called Facebook Watch, which is that the... I'm now getting notifications on Facebook whenever there's a video I might want to watch. I don't want these fucking notifications.
What is that? What is Facebook Watch?
It might be just
Facebook
a place
videos?
to watch videos, yeah.
Interesting. And now they're having a mixed tag tournament. Is this the way it's going? And the fans, if I understand this correctly, the fans are getting to vote for who the teams are. And it was now we have Alexa Bliss and Braun Strowman, Goldust and Alicia Fox, The Miz and Asuka, which is a pretty interesting combination, I think.
I liked his reveal. I liked when he was like, "This is awesome. I'm going to win."
Actually, well, I think that I think those reveals were pretty genuine. I don't think they actually knew who their partners were.
I was starting to think so too. I feel like a bit of a mark, but I was like, I think they don't. I think this is real for them.
Yeah, it was even when you saw the Goldust thing, he was out of the character.
Did you see Becky Lynch's?
No, I haven't seen that.
So Becky Lynch has been really rallying to get Sami Zayn as her partner. And they showed her, they had the camera out with her signing autographs for people outside. There's like 15, 20 people out there. And there's this one dork in a beard, and he's like, "Oh, over there, Usos! Hey, Usos! Us! Oh, Us!" And I'm like, "Who's this fucking guy?" And then she keeps going down the aisle, and it's Sami Zayn, and he takes the shit off. He's like, "You're my partner." And
really?
She's so happy. She was like, "I can get the good Sami Zayn. I can get good." And he's like, "I'm the same guy." It was great. It was fun.
That's great. I think that would be I'm intrigued, and I kind of like some of these pairings. The Rusev and Lana obviously is a natural, and they probably knew that was going to happen.
Same with
Jey Uso and Trinity, or Naomi, or whatever her name is. What else? Who else is in there? Finn Balor and Sasha Banks.
That's right. Bailey was upset about that.
Oh, she wanted Finn Balor? Mm-hmm. Who did Bailey get?
Bailey was supposed to get Samoa Joe, who was injured. And so who did she get instead? Who she get instead? Oh, come on.
You're going to have to look that up. The mixed match tag team challenge. Is John Cena in the tournament? What about Roman Reigns?
I believe you, Franco. Thank you for letting me know. I didn't know that I was going to be there. That's fun.
Roman Reigns?
No, it's not Roman Reigns.
Bobby Roode and Charlotte?
Robe Warriors. I think, was it Lance Storm who said that first? The Robe Warriors?
Why? Oh,
because they both wear robes.
Oh, Robe Warriors.
Yeah.
Gotcha. That's a good... I actually like Bobby Roode and Charlotte together. I think that's kind of cool. Ooh, yeah, everybody's kind of chiming in on who they think is going to win. So we got James Hamlin is going with Bobby and Charlotte.
Elias is Bailey's partner.
Elias. WWE Elias? Walk with Elias?
Yes.
Primetime. No, Primetime doesn't... He's not saying that Naomi and Jimmy Uso are going to win, but he says that their thing was hilarious. Craig Anderson's going with Bailey and Elias. Or maybe he just said Bailey got Elias.
I didn't see their video, though. Now I have to
look it up. Nia Jax got Apollo Crews.
That's right.
Thomas Franco says The Miz and Asuka might be his choice. I think it's a good choice. I don't know how they're stacking up this tournament, though. I don't know any brackets or anything like that. I actually think the one that's going to win is probably going to be, what's her name? Alexa Bliss and Braun Strowman.
It's a tough team to beat.
Yeah, it is a tough team to beat. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what it is, more so than the mystery of it. I mean, I'm probably not going to watch all these matches, but I am kind of excited. I think the best part of this whole thing is the reveal of who the partner is.
Right.
Then it's done for me. All right. So out of Raw, what do you think was some of the biggest storyline coming out of it for you?
Part of the biggest storyline was Braun pulling the structure down, which was funny, and also the Miz at the end of the show, and the Miz Taraj taking out Roman Reigns.
Oh yeah, at the end of the show.
It was really good to see him being taken seriously. I like it.
The Miz?
Yeah.
Hey, he's winning the fans over. He's Rolling Stones Wrestler of the Year.
That's right.
The Miz will be going against Roman Reigns at the 25th anniversary of WWE Raw, Monday Night Raw.
Oh, Franco, that's right. Natty and Shinsuke Nakamura.
Ooh.
We just found out that tonight.
Natty and Shinsuke. So that's going to be happening on Raw's 25th anniversson. Do you think
what is?
Miz and Roman Reigns.
Oh, that's right. Okay, I thought we were still talking about.
Do you think that Miz and Roman Reigns, or do you think that Miz reclaims his title at the Royal Rumble at the 25th anniversary?
I think it is. I think that's what's going to happen.
And then Finn Balor and the Miz at WrestleMania.
I guess that could be.
Six-man tag. I mean, you got the Balor Club on the outside. You got the Miz Taraj on the outside.
But speaking of this big event, I'm trying to remember. It was the 20th anniversary of Raw, where Punk turned on. Was it 5 years ago?
Was that The Rock? Yeah. We clotheslined The Rock.
Holy no!
Yeah.
That was 13. That was 13, huh?
Punk's never coming back to the WWE. He's done. We'll see you in New Japan, Punk. You and Okada.
So I'm wondering what the big angle is going to be for that. It's got to be a big angle.
Do you think so? What big angle?
I think
even in a dream fantasy world, what is the biggest angle they can do?
Gosh,
that's the unfortunate part.
I mean, it's hard to think of anything without just bringing somebody back.
That's pretty sad. That means that WWE isn't growing new stars.
Was that Raw 1000? Was that what when Punk turned on? What's his fuck? The Rock?
I don't know.
Was that Raw 1000?
Could be Raw 1000. Kat says, nope, Roman Reigns is going to retain the Intercontinental title.
Who is?
Roman Reigns. I certainly hope he does, and I'll tell you why I hope he does.
Kat loves that Roman Reigns.
I'll tell you why I hope Roman Reigns retains the Intercontinental title is because I don't want him in the world title picture at WrestleMania. I want him defending the Intercontinental title. So, there's that. I don't know, man. So... you want to go move on to SmackDown now? Because you saw SmackDown.
Yeah.
Highlights for you?
Man, you're right. It was at Raw 1000 on July 23rd, 2012. Let me tell you who knows his shit. Fucking Craig Anderson knows his shit.
He does.
He's on it.
That was prime time.
Well, both of them. You guys all know your shit. Well done. Except for Kat liking Roman Reigns. Get it together. Sorry. What was the question? Oh, SmackDown. Let me tell you something about SmackDown. All you need to know is that when Aiden was talking about the Royal Rumble, Rusev went, and then Aiden went, sorry, the Rusev Rumble. And I was like, okay, well, that's my day. That was the best part of SmackDown right there. Call it the Rusev. They were in this match. And fucking Corey Graves is like, that shirt that he's wearing, I just want you to know that's a Rusev Vuitton. And I don't remember who are the fellow commentators on SmackDown.
Tom.
It was probably Tom.
Tom Phillips and Byron Saxton.
Okay, well then it was Byron. Byron's like, you can't just put Rusev in front of anything. I can do whatever I want. Who won? Fandango and Tyler Breeze beat...
the Bludgeon Brothers.
No. They beat some team that I expected they were going to lose to.
Really?
And they show Daniel Bryan backstage, and Daniel goes, good for them. Just to himself. I thought that was great. Sami Zayn just makes me smile whenever he comes out.
Why is that?
Because he's a bad guy, and he's so happy. I love it when bad guys are happy.
He's also a guy that has never won a title in WWE yet. Is that correct?
Well, besides, yeah.
NXT title, I know he did win, but never WWE championship.
Hey, Jalen got the job. You remember Jalen had a big interview?
Nope.
No, like 2 weeks ago.
How do you remember that?
Because we were talking, because you told me about the thing that you asked in the interview. They said, they asked, do you have any questions for us?
Oh, yeah.
So we talked about it. That was like 2 weeks ago. And we were talking about interview advice for Jalen. And Jalen got the job.
Congratulations, Jalen, on getting the job. Look at that picture of Sami Zayn. That's great, is it not? That's one of the best pictures
Josh.
I've ever seen of Sami Zayn in my life.
That's not necessary.
So with the Royal Rumble headed our way, it doesn't seem like anything really happened of interest on SmackDown. Both world title matches I'm not excited about.
It'll be interesting to see how AJ beats the other two guys. Maybe it'll probably be when Kevin Owens finally turns on Sammy, perhaps.
You think that that's going to happen?
I'm just throwing shit out here.
No, that's good. It's speculate, but is that what you want to happen, or is that what you think is going to happen?
I want Owens and Zayn to be together forever.
So yeah, you do. What do you think's gonna happen with this Shane McMahon drama with Daniel Bryan? It's very unpredictable.
I'm telling you.
But do you think it leads to a match?
I think Daniel Bryan's going to wrestle again.
In WWE, you think he's going to wrestle again?
Yes.
Do you really?
Yes. It was Rusev Day. Rusev Day lost to the Fashion Police.
Wow, you really think that? The only reason I would say that he's not is because he hasn't for such a long time. You think the Dodgers are like, all right, well, we don't want to lose your contract, so we're gonna let you go back in the ring.
I think that they know that wherever he goes, it's going to carry some eyeballs to wherever he goes, and they're going to see whatever the place that is as an alternative.
New Japan.
It will, yeah. If he goes to New Japan, absolutely. A lot of people are going to be like, "Fuck that! I'm New Japan World or WWE Network. Which am I going to spend my $10 on?" Daniel Bryan, I love that guy. Goosh.
I mean, again, though, those are two so different styles of product that you just got to kind of be into. I mean, you can be into both, obviously, but you're more inclined to. I think New Japan is a niche, whereas I think WWE has a big wider appeal. I feel like.
Right, but bringing Daniel Bryan is part of the broader appeal.
I also think that New Japan is getting to be a little bit more like WWE in a lot of ways, with the Bullet Club especially. And I think it's fair to say that there's been no hotter stable in wrestling than the Bullet Club in the last few years.
Yes.
All right, so
Craig Anderson wants Sami to turn on Kevin Owens when it happens, and I get that. I do.
I don't want to see a face Kevin Owens though.
Someday we will. We're gonna regardless.
I know.
Someday.
I know. AJ and Nakamura. James Hamlin says AJ will retain. Hope we can see Nakamura and Styles match at Mania this year. Title or not, I agree.
Yeah.
I do think that we'll also see Finn Balor and The Miz for the Intercontinental title with the Bullet Club or the Balor Club in Finn's corner and the other
WrestleMania?
Yeah, I think so. I think we'll get that at Mania. I think you put another title on Finn Balor, the Intercontinental title. He runs with that for a while. I think. Just calling it. So Final Four in the Royal Rumble this year. Who you got?
Zayn.
Okay.
No, not Zayn. Kevin Owens.
Okay.
Nakamura.
Yeah.
And a couple of Raw guys.
Kevin
Cena
Owens.
and Romans. Cena and Roman.
Okay.
Even though Cena is a tweener.
I'm going to go with Rusev. I got to go Rusev, Finn Balor, Nakamura, and Roman Reigns. I just love that Rusev would be in there.
Finn is just a tease. It's just a tease to have him in the Final Four.
I think it's going to happen, though. And also, did you notice, too, what are they doing with this whole... I know that... Oh, we didn't even talk that much about it, but Samoa Joe is injured. Injured his foot. We don't know how long he's going to be out, if at all.
I mean, he was just setting stuff up with Cena, too.
I was just going to say that. So, what do you think that was going? Do you think that's where they were kind of foreshadowing for WrestleMania?
I've heard that Cena has a huge match at WrestleMania.
If it's The Undertaker, I'm going to be so disappointed.
I feel it's going to be The Undertaker.
Do you?
That's my feeling. I've been wrong before, though. My feelings have ways of betraying.
Do you want to see The Undertaker at WrestleMania?
No.
No, neither do I. I think...
I thought his goodbye was the perfect goodbye to a series of not that great matches.
Yeah, no, I
just kicked the camera. Why not?
I got to kind of agree with that. And Robert Downey Jr. said it best with the Iron Man reference, was that he wants to hang it up before it gets embarrassing. And I listen, I respect the hell out of The Undertaker, but it's starting to get embarrassing. And I think that the way he went out last year was perfect. He went out on his back. He even did the whole thing, put his gear away, and
it was perfect. It was a perfect end.
Why do you got to come back? Or I wouldn't want to taint that. But I also noticed that. Well, I guess they haven't announced anybody for the Hall of Fame yet, so that then, who knows? But yeah, I'm really hoping that we would get Samoa Joe and John Cena. I actually think they could do really well together.
Yeah, that would be great.
Who else do we? What other big matches can we possibly have? It really seems that Nakamura. If I really don't want to see Brock and Roman, I really do not want to see that match. I don't think having Roman win the title is a good idea. Nope. Fans don't like him. Besides Kat, if you look in this room, hey, chat room, real quick question, chat room. Let's see. This is like a WWE arena. How many for all of you guys that like Roman Reigns, hit the number 1. For all of you that don't like Roman Reigns, hit the number 2. I'm really curious to see who are Roman Reigns fans in here. What you hitting 1?
My vote counts.
Kevin hits his vote. He got his 2 in there. I'm really curious because it doesn't seem like the audience really cares that much about Roman Reigns, or they don't like him. They like him when he's with the Shield, but not so much with anything else. I also don't want to see Sting and The Undertaker either. Yeah,
man.
That match should happen 10 years ago.
Should have been 10 years ago, yep.
Okay, really quick, let's see what we got in the chat. James Hamlin says, I wanted Sting and Undertaker at WrestleMania 31, the one. Oh, here we go. It seems like we have a lot of people now. James Hamlin, 2. Primetime, 2. A lot of people are not fans of Roman Reigns, it seems like.
Cat loves him.
Cat's a 1.
It's the hair, isn't it? You like his hair.
Those piercing green eyes, or whatever color his eyes
I will admit, his sleeve tattoos are kind of cool.
He is The Rock's cousin, though. Which means nothing, really. Yes, they did announce people for the Hall of Fame.
I think a list
it was an
got
unofficial.
leaked.
It's an unofficial list that got leaked. But I think we're gonna wrap it up. Kevin, do you have like a match of the week?
No.
You want to pick one off the top of your head?
Oh man, my head has got nothing on it. Let's go back in history. Let's always go back. Let's go to. I'm a big fan of the Saturday night's main events. What's a great... Let's go for 1989.
Another one. We have Thomas Franco. There's another Roman Reigns guy.
Franco's good. Franco likes the Roman Reigns. All right, buddy. All right. Demolition had lost the tag team. No, they had not yet lost the tag team titles. I just spoiled the end of this match. So let's not do that one. I loved Demolition.
Oh, thank you. Ryan says Joe should be in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, I'd get booted out of the Hall of Fame so fast. I'm going to pick my match of the week. Then you can think about yours.
Okay, what's yours?
Mine is from I think it's King of the Ring. What is it? King of the Ring 96. It was or 97. It's one of the two. Stone Cold Steve Austin against Shawn Michaels. They were tag team champions together.
Ah, yes. This was a great match.
I loved that match. I thought it was a really, really good match. And it's funny because Steve Austin talks about how he hated that match. And I was like, man, that match was so good.
But I remember because not only it was crazy.
Bret Hart was at ringside.
I don't remember Bret at ringside.
Yeah,
I
he had an injured foot or a knee or something.
I remember there was a special kid in the and they knocked the barricade over trying to hug Shawn. And Shawn was emotionally out the fucking door. He was so messed up. And it was the next day that he quit, right? He quit before. Yep. Was that the day that he and Bret got into their fist fight? Yep. Yeah. So you watch that match, and Shawn Michaels is fucking everywhere. But he still took that moment to be like, hey, take care of this kid ringside, which was very nice, very sweet.
But for being as messed up as he was, the match was really good.
It was a great match. Yes. It might have been. It was better than their WrestleMania.
I 100% agree. And actually, it's funny that you say that because when they were announced for WrestleMania 14, I remember thinking, oh, I remember how good that match was at King of the Ring. But I think that there was a lot that played into that. Shawn's back was hurt.
That was the main thing.
But it was still a good match. Still a good match. Shawn Michaels, man, and it's crazy too thinking about Shawn Michaels because once you get to after his return, had even better matches, which is crazy.
Yeah. But he had a lot of time to take off and
just thinking
heal emotionally and physically.
That I don't know if I can do this anymore. To being the best guy every single night is pretty crazy.
Well, drugs are terrible.
Yeah. All right, so you got a match of the week?
I like yours. I think everybody should go to the WWE Network. It was King of the Ring 1997, and the main event was Shawn Michaels versus Stone Cold Steve Austin.
It wasn't the main event actually.
It wasn't?
No, I believe the main event was either. Man, was it? It was either the first blood match. No, it couldn't have been the first blood match. Was it Hell in the Cell?
No.
It was Hell in the Cell with Undertaker and Mick Foley.
That seems wrong to me.
Let's look this up.
But they were tag team champions at the time. Shawn and
Michaels versus Steve Austin.
King of the Ring. Bring it down there.
King of the Ring. This was 97. Let's see what else was on this card in 97. I believe that this was the Hell in the Cell match.
This was the Hell in the Cell.
Undertaker defeated Farouk.
Oof. Oof.
Yeah, Mankind defeated Jerry Lawler. All right, this was not Hell in the Cell. Wow, what? The Undertaker was Farouk? That was the main event at this pay-per-view? That was for the title.
Farouk got a title shot.
Wow, I didn't even know that ever happened. All right. Sure. All right, that's going to do it for us on Call It in the Ring. Kevin, where can everyone find you on social media?
King of the Ring was the Hell in the Cell.
Yeah, it was. This is King of the Ring also.
What the fuck's wrong with me? I don't know. And was it in your house?
What are you talking about?
I'm talking Hell in the Cell.
King of the Ring. It was King of the Ring.
But Hell in the Cell, was that
that was in King of the Ring.
Which King of the Ring?
Let's see.
It must have been 96 then.
No, I think it was 98. Hell in a Cell, Mankind versus Undertaker. Let's see. I don't want the full match. I just want the... Nope. This is going to give me the whole history of the feud, right? Oh, Hell in the Cell? Is this Hell in the Cell?
Craig's probably already told us 17 times.
Yeah, just see what Craig says. King of the Ring 98.
Oh, 98.
Yeah.
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Kevin Kittredge. I still haven't done another podcast with my buddy Ralph, but if you go to allrightpodcast.com, you can see everything we've done so far, and I'm sure we'll do it again.
And you can find me over at #Joe on all social media and over on Screen Rant. Check out all the stuff we have over there. But coming up next is live. We're going to be talking about Overwatch, the Overwatch League that just opened up. That's going to be on our Twitch channel. That is twitch.tv/that#show. Everybody that's an Overwatch fan, join myself and Kelly. We are going to be talking the Overwatch League. We are going to be your ESPN for this Overwatch League that's going to be happening. I'm really excited about it. So join us over on it, Twitch at twitch.tv/that#show. Hopefully you guys will all join us. Thank you so much for joining us every Tuesdays, calling it in the ring. Next week we're going to be talking about Raw, SmackDown, maybe some NXT, maybe some New Japan. Who knows? We got some big things hopefully coming out wrestling-wise. Hopefully.
Cheers.
See you next week.